Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to my new video. My name is AJ. I'm here today to take you through the Laos and China Railway link, which opened yesterday on the 3rd of December 2021. So I'm going to be talking about why I think Laos will be the perfect example for the Belt and Road scheme. I think what China needs is a win for the Belt and Road, because so far it's only been bad news everywhere. People are talking about debt traps, and people are falling into debt. There's no benefits that are coming from Belt and Road and stuff like that. So I just think Laos would be the perfect example how successful the Belt and Road scheme would be to a poorer country, and how it can help develop a poorer country like Laos. So as you know, the Western media likes to paint the Belt and Road scheme as a debt trap, and it's never been successful. There's no country that's benefit from it. It's all benefit in China. That's all that they're painting. But I believe if they can prove that Laos does benefit from the Belt and Road scheme and is completely transformed the country, and if China helps Laos become the next Vietnam, for example, or the next Indonesia, completely improves its GDP every year, year on year, Laos grows and grows and grows. There becomes a huge manufacturing hub, for example. So the one advantage Laos has got is plenty of cheap labor. So there's no reason why China can't move a lot of its manufacturing jobs and factories over to Laos, and they can have the China Plus One scheme, where you'll have the main headquarters in China, but you have all of these manufacturing hubs in places like Laos and even in Vietnam and other places as well. And in return, Laos will get richer, people will have better lives, and Laos would grow as China grows. And so far, everybody that talks about BRI, people start talking about Sri Lanka, how it's a debt trap, and Sri Lanka lost, a port because of it. And people like to talk about the bad news and the negatives. But if China can come up with one positive with Laos, it would be amazing. And Laos would be the ultimate example of how the BRI can make any country successful. So as Laos becomes successful as part of this BRI, this could be a perfect example for any haters that if they bring up any negatives or bad news like Sri Lanka, China can say, well, look at Laos, how that country's improved because of the infrastructure. And I know this has cost 6 billion to make, but imagine if Laos GDP improves year on year, and it brings in hundreds of billions per year due to all the foreign investments and all the tourism and all the factories and manufacturing that's going to be coming into Laos, all the businesses, plus all the improvement to people's lives. It will bring back hundreds of billions per year to Laos year on year. And this 6 billion cost for this train would be like short change compared to what they can get in the future. And what's the other alternative? Not to do anything? Like leave it as it is? Then Laos would never improve. It will stay as a poor country and with no help in sight for the future. And this is a great opportunity for Laos. People underestimate how much of a massive opportunity this is. And I think this is going to be an ultimate success story when it comes to the BRI. And China will be using Laos as a perfect example of how much improvements BRI and high-speed rail and infrastructure can bring to a country. Before I continue, guys, I have a quick request. If you guys can join my Patreon, it'll be a very major help. I've got 32 members right now. If we can get to 40, that would be amazing. And it's going to a good cause, right? It's an amazing cause. What we're doing is very important. We're debunking mainstream media lies about China. We're trying to put China in a good light. We're trying to speak the truth, and there's not many people out there like myself, so us creators, we need a bit of support. I think it's important as human beings we try and do the good thing, we try and do the right thing. This could help save lives, it could help save people from getting beaten up or getting killed. We need to speak the truth out there, guys, not just for Chinese people but for all Asians out there who are receiving a lot of violence and anti-Asian violence. So what we're doing, we're debunking all of these media lies and politician lies that's going on, and we're trying to change the minds of people that are sitting on the fence, who are fed up with mainstream media, fed up of hearing all the lies every day, and channels like myself who speak the truth and spread the truth are important. So we need your support to continue, as it takes us a lot of effort to make these videos and a lot of research time, and we take a lot of our own time to do it. So help from you really is appreciated. So a bit more information about this Laos Railway track. It's constructed as a single track electrified railway line with a design speed of about 160 kilometers per hour. The railway project involved construction of 75 tunnels, 167 bridges and 32 stations. One of the things I like about this project is they were thinking about the local wildlife in the area. This area has a huge amount of elephants, and recently the elephants like to migrate, and they were migrating across China and Laos. And what they've done is they've created some migration channels, so these elephants' migration paths will not be affected, which is very good. So other kind of stats: the length is over 1,035 kilometers. Percentage of bridges and tunnels, 87% is on the Chinese section and the rest is on the Laos. I've told you about the speed, 120-200 kilometers per hour. Over 110,000 local jobs were provided. 2,000 kilometers of roads and canals are built. The logistics cost from Vientiane, which is the capital of Laos, to Kunming will drop to about 40-50% because of the time and distance it takes. Before it used to take about 20 hours, but now it's about 10 hours, I believe, between the capital of Laos to Kunming. And they've also restored nearly 5,000 MU, 333 hectares of construction area with trees and things like that. So the total green areas across the line reaches 3.07 meters square per meters. So they were looking at the greenery part of this project, which is really good, really. And so it was very environmentally sustainable, and they were looking at especially the elephants' migration channels, which I think is amazing. It was a very difficult construction project, and I believe the construction company which was dealing with this won awards. It's a very difficult construction. As you can see, this bridge, for example, is going through tunnels, and it was very difficult. And I think what the construction company had said was, we gained valuable experience from this project, which is significant in improving our railway construction capabilities, especially in building tunnels and giant bridges under complicated geological conditions. Ma Youliang, deputy commander of the project, said. And also you can see the railway line as well. So all of these greenery and lovely plants and flowers and stuff they're kind of doing across the rail. So it's a nice touch, really. So that, they are thinking of greenery as well, and planting lots of trees as well and things like that. So it's great. I mean, it's great when I see projects such as this come into fruition. It's not only it's very difficult to produce, but also to produce it in a green way and thinking about animals and wildlife and also the nature. It's amazing, I think. Now, going back to the politics of it, as you can see, when this railway line opened yesterday, all I could see in the Western papers is articles such as this: Laos opens railway to China as debt to Beijing rises. So all they're talking about is debt. 5.9 billion of debt. But they don't think about the long-term benefits this would cost. I mean, 6 billion it cost this to make. But imagine the hundreds of billions you will get back in money because of this infrastructure that's been built. And I just think the Western media and Western countries are so jealous that China is helping build infrastructure to these poorer countries to help them develop. And like I said, what's the alternative? To leave Laos as it is? To leave it poor? I mean, the Western countries would love that. The Western countries they call it the global north, and then the poorer countries, the global south. I mean, the Western countries who have been rich for hundreds of years, they've done nothing for all of these poorer countries. Nothing. They've done nothing to, Laos. If they built any infrastructure and helped them build infrastructure, Laos would be in a much better position today than it was back then. But I think what these richer countries were doing, they want to stay rich and they want to keep these poorer countries poor. It just means they have all the power. And, you see the Western imperialistic, the rich stay rich and the poor stay poor. And that's what it looks like. They're just jealous that China has come along and pouring money into these poorer countries, help them develop, give them some infrastructure, and watch them grow. I just think it's pure jealousy. So I wanted to also talk about history of Laos as well. Not many people know about this, but Laos has been the most bombed country in the world. So during the Vietnam War, Laos was also very much with Vietnam and China, and Laos was literally bombed so much. They were being carpet bombed, and they've used Agent Orange and all sorts of cluster bombs and things like that. Completely destroyed the country. Don't forget the amount of people that died, and don't forget the greenery as well. I mean, look at this, the amount of trees that got destroyed, the amount of greenery that got destroyed. This helped increase climate change and increase the carbon level, and it took Laos years and years to recover from that, and they're still not recovered. They're still a poor country. It's about time somebody came in and helped them, really, because the amount of people that got killed and amount of wildlife and got destroyed. It's quite sad, really. And America used some of the most lethal weapons, cluster bombs, Agent Orange. People are still being born in Laos with, they're like mutants. They got disabilities. All these kids have got all of these disabilities because of this Agent Orange and stuff like that. It's really sad, guys. And people talk about human rights and stuff like that. They talk about Uyghur Muslims and China. What about the human rights issues that America has done all of these years? They've killed so many people around the world with all of these wars, and they've killed them in such a horrible way. In Japan, they blew up innocent people with nuclear bombs, and even today Japanese kids are growing disabled, and radiation poisoning. People are dying of cancer. And then you got the Marshall Islands, when Americans did all the nuclear bomb tests, how so many Marshall Island people are dying of cancer, and kids growing up with disabilities. And then all of these countries they've been blowing up, like Vietnam, Laos. Still to this day, people are still being affected. And don't forget the Middle East as well. The amount of human rights abuses America has done. And also 95 million Red Indians died in America. 95 million. That is real genocide, guys. Real genocide. I've been to America a few times, right? I've been to Atlanta, I've been to New York, I've been to Florida. Not once I've seen a Red Indian. Not once. I think they've been totally wiped out. That's real genocide. That's real genocide, guys. 95 million Red Indians got killed in America. Completely took their country, wiped them out, wiped the whole race out. People don't talk about that. It's absolutely ridiculous. When it comes to the Uyghur Muslims, they all care about Uyghur Muslims. Seriously, ridiculous, guys. So now for some lighter news. Yunnan province, which Kunming is the capital of the Yunnan province, is going to be the main hub for Belt and Road. And this is why, guys. And you can see here. So you got Kunming here. And you've got the Laos Railway, which is going to go straight to Laos capital. So this is the one that's complete. But they've also, Kunming is also going to be linking to from Myanmar to Bangladesh. And it's also going to go to Myanmar as well, and also to Vietnam, Thailand. There's a road, there's a link being built from Bangkok to Laos, and that's going to complete by 2028. So as you can see, Kunming is going to be the center of Belt and Road. There's also going to be links to Malaysia and hopefully there's going to be links to Singapore as well. Although Malaysia's been given some problems since the new president for Malaysia has come, he has kind of cancelled a lot of Belt and Road projects, which is not good really. He seems to be very pro-American and he seems to be very anti-China. So he's cancelled all, Belt and Road projects, including the project that's going to go from Singapore to Kuala Lumpur. So he cancelled that, and from Kuala Lumpur to Bangkok, he's also cancelled that as well. So Malaysia seems to be the sticking point at the moment. But hopefully in the future, if a new president comes, he might have a different approach. But we'll see. Anyway, but if Laos does show to be a successful model from this Belt and Road, countries such as Malaysia, the people are not going to stand for it. They're gonna want this infrastructure help from China. They're going to say, oh, look at Laos, look how amazing Laos has become with the help of China, with all of these infrastructure projects. We don't want to basically. So now I'm going to talk a bit about Kunming, guys. It's a huge underrated city, and look at all of these links going south via Laos, Thailand, Vietnam, Malaysia, probably Singapore, Myanmar, Bangladesh, probably India. Kunming is going to be a major hub for Belt and Road. It's going to probably be even a bigger city than Chongqing, Chengdu, and I think Kunming over the next 10-20 years is the city to look out for. It could become as big as Shenzhen or even bigger. And there's a lot of investment going into Kunming. And what is Kunming anyway? Well, it's a very much ancient city, a very huge tourist spot. It's got a lot of tourist stuff going on. For example, like the Stone Forest. You got the Jiangxi Lake. You got the Dragon Gate of Yushan. And I love this as well. I love to see this when I go to China. It's called the God's Palette. It's an amazing place to see. You got the Youliang rice terraces. You got all of these ethnic, cultural minority villages as well, with all of these ethnic cultures. You got the cherry blossom on Yangtong Hill. You got the colourful flower and bird market. And all of these various different types of cuisines. It's an amazing city, guys, and look at the views you get from Kunming. Look at the amazing views, and you can see there's a lot of flat plains around Kunming, so all of this could be developed, and I can see a lot of high-rise buildings coming up here over the next few years. And as you can see, it's so beautiful, guys. Amazing, isn't it? This is a picture of Kunming development as it is now, and as you can see, slowly developing. And within the next 10-20 years, I can see this becoming the next Shenzhen. You'll see a whole lot of skyscrapers coming up, and a lot more people moving in. And I think the city population will rise. It's going to be a huge tourist spot. A lot of tourists are going to be travelling here from Southeast Asia and Asia itself, and there's a lot to see in Kunming, a lot to do. There's also a financial centre being built in Kunming as well. A lot of infrastructure work, a lot of billions of dollars is going into Kunming, and I think Kunming is going to be the next big city in China. As you can see, it's got the traditional parts of China. You've got the amazing scenery, you've got the mountains, you've got the lakes. You've got different cultures, different ethnic groups, you've got different types of food, different cuisines, all of the museums and parks. It's everything a city would need, and it's a great place to visit. I'm definitely going to be visiting when I go to Kunming. And I'm also going to be talking about Kunming's tech scene as well. As well as being a popular tourist destination, Kunming is now becoming a technological hub with artificial intelligence focused business zone. So there's a lot of AI businesses moving into Kunming, and I think Kunming is a great place to start up a business because of the links with the BRI and all of the infrastructure work that's going into Kunming, plus all of the tourist spots as well. So it's a great place to do businesses. So I think it's going to be an AI hub. Very much a up-and-coming city, like I said. There's other things as well. There's 17 parks planned for opening in the city of Kunming as well. So they obviously got big plans. They want to become a major tourist hub where a lot of tourists are going to go into Kunming, not only nationally but internationally as well. So I want to also this one as well. $8 billion worth Paramount theme parks resort in China is under construction in Kunming as well. So as you can see, this is going to be an amazing theme park which is going to be funded by America Paramount, and that's going to be happening in this capital city of Kunming. So Kunming, as you can see, is going to be very much a tourist capital of China. A lot of great things happening in Kunming, and I think Kunming over the next 10-20 years is going to be the next Shenzhen or even better, and I just can't wait really. So going back to Laos, guys, I said that Laos is going to be a great example for the Belt and Road scheme. So this brings me on to my next chapter. I was going to talk about Pakistan. So initially, Pakistan was supposed to be the example of having the Great Belt and Road with the China-Pakistan corridor. And so far, it's not brought the fruits, guys. And unfortunately, from what I'm hearing and what I'm seeing, it hasn't brought the fruits that China had hoped or Pakistan had hoped. There's a lot of protests going on in Pakistan which is against Chinese investments, and there's a lot of protests happening in Gwadar. Pakistan is having a lot of issues at the moment, and there's a lot of people which are kind of doing anti-Chinese issues. There's also terrorists in Pakistan which are killing Chinese workers. The biggest one was 9 Chinese workers had died on a suicide bomb, which is not good really. Pakistan is having major debt issues. It had to borrow money from Saudi Arabia with huge amounts of interest. So, and you can see Pakistan plunges into deep natural gas crisis. Inflation is pretty much shooting up. Its gas prices are higher than Indian gas prices. And the Pakistan GDP is actually smaller, so 296 billion, smaller than Bangladesh GDP. I mean, this is unbelievable, guys. Bangladesh is supposed to be a poorer country than Pakistan, and here it is having a better GDP than Pakistan, which is unbelievable. And Bangladesh is a much smaller country as well than Pakistan. So things like that I just can't believe really. And I think in terms of Pakistan being an example for the Belt and Road scheme, I think China has picked the wrong country. I think China would be much better building countries such as Myanmar or Laos, and I think they would get a much better benefit from it. I think Pakistan can still benefit, but I don't think it will benefit over the next 10-20 years. I think it might take 20 years. By the time Gwadar is built and all of the infrastructure is built in Pakistan, then maybe. There are a lot of corruption issues in Pakistan as well. A lot of money which was given to Pakistan to build infrastructure didn't go into infrastructure. That money disappeared. So China is quite reluctant to give Pakistan even more money because they don't know where that money goes really. So there are huge corruption issues in Pakistan. So I'm not sure if Gwadar would be successful or not really. Only time will tell. But what I do know is I do know that Laos would be very successful. The main thing has been built with the Laos-China rail line, and I think it's just onwards and upwards from now. So let me know what you guys think, guys. I'm really excited with this Laos Railway, and I'm actually very excited how this develops and how Laos develops, how Kunming develops. And Kunming's definitely a city I'm going to be visiting when I travel to China once this coronavirus thing is finished. So I really can't wait, and I really can't wait to see the future, how all of this develops. And I think it's going to be a great thing going on for Laos, and a great thing going on for Kunming as well. So I'm really happy. Let me know what you guys think. And if you really like the video, don't forget to buy me a coffee or join my Patreon. You are supporting the channel, and also if you can do your bit, sharing, liking, commenting. Just check your comments as well that YouTube hasn't deleted it. Just make sure you check that you haven't put any swear words and stuff like that. Just double check YouTube bots hasn't deleted your comments. So yeah, so I'll see you guys soon in the next video. Take care for now.